We know from Spell Slamser that the books we seek are somewhere in the halls of the ancients. But the hall is vast, and time grows short. Therefore, anyone who can possibly be spared from maintaining the Academy will be going on this mission to assist in finding these books. Chaos and the darkness threaten all of us. This is the key to putting an end to their evil, for good.
Oh, I wish I was as good at being as inspirational as that guy, but still it's hard to get excited about going to a library. Right, Hugo? Never mind.
Wow, this place is incredible. Look at all these books. I could stay in here forever.
Stay focused, Hugo. We're here for one thing, to figure out how to stop the darkness. And be careful. This is no ordinary library.
Come on, Callie, it's just a bunch of stupid moldy books. It's the most boring quest ever.
Ah, gotcha!
You see? And that's why I don't read.
The Coming of the Darkness by Pomfrey LaFuzzbottom. Great job, Flynn! This is exactly what we're looking for.
It is? I mean, of course it is. You know, I got to admit that first chapter really pulls you in.
Light Core. Sunrunner. Skylanders of the dark element are stronger in this zone.
I think I found a book about the darkness, but since this library is cursed, it might be best if you open it. There has got to be something within these pages that will give us a clue to stopping it. Have a look, Skylander, and be careful.
Before creating the portals, the ancients explored the universe using magical relics called rift engines. But in their haste to spread the light of Skylands to other worlds, they created a powerful rift engine that opened a door to a forbidden world and unleashed a destructive force into Skylands, the darkness. Centuries later, in the age of the Portal Masters, the Skylanders had become the greatest champions the world had ever known. No enemy or debris could stand before their might. But the darkness was still out there, somewhere, laying in wait. Suddenly, tremors and aftershocks rumbled throughout the land. Some great evil was being conjured in the arcane keep of the Spellpunks. The devious Spellpunks had unearthed the very same cursed relic that had allowed the darkness into Skylands centuries ago. The Dark Rift Engine. The Spellpunks had to be stopped before they could use its power to awaken the darkness. But the way to the citadel had grown treacherous. Danger sprang from the shadows. The spellpunks were drawing magic from the Dark Rift engine, feeding power to the darkness. A welcome contribution to the next upgrade. It is widely known that fairies only accept cold, hard cash. The Skylanders fought their way through the danger, charging into the mouth of the Spellpunk Keep. But then, without warning, all of Skylands began to quake. And a wave of fear swept over the land as a great and terrible shadow erupted from the keep. It bellowed in a deep and malevolent voice. Behold, Skylands, I have returned. All shall fear and obey me. I am the darkness.
I had always heard that it was the ancients who let the darkness into Skylands, but I've never heard about that Dark Rift engine. Still, we don't know how they managed to finally defeat it. We'll have to keep looking, Skylander. Maybe one of the others found something useful.
flame and fortune.
Wanna try a game of Skystone's Overdrive, Skylander? I found this old book on Skystone strategies I'm dying to try out. I've been researching Skystone strategies throughout the centuries in this library. You wanna give it a go?
Your turn. Brawlrus. Blastertron. Your turn. Callie.
Boom! Boom!
Taekwon Crow.
Boom!
Overdrive ready. Sunrunner.
Boom!
Overdrive ready. Luminous.
Boom!
Your turn. Shadowlin. Bad Juju.
Boom!
Victory.
I'll get you next time, I'm sure.
Hey, Skylander, look at this! You should try this. The Charge of the First Light Squadron. It's about an elite squad of fighter pilots who took on the overwhelming forces of evil. Looks pretty turbulent in there. Best if you summon a sky vehicle if you want to take a look.
As the power of the darkness grew, the marauding forces that served it took control of the skies and terrorized the land. All hope seemed lost. Until a ragtag group of pilots was assembled with a single impossible goal: to hold back the encroaching evil and give the good people of Skylands a chance to escape to safety. This First Light Squadron took to the skies in defiance of all odds to meet this threat head-on. The darkness, underestimating our heroes, sent out a small group of fighters to crush them. And was sorely disappointed. Darkness, enraged at the squadron's continued success, brought more of its armada into the battle. But the First Light Squadron was undeterred. These enemies, too, would fall before the righteous might of these brave pilots. The Dark Forces were relentless in their attack. But the First Light Squadron was determined to destroy the Dark Galleon and cripple the Armada once and for all.
Invincibility.
First Light Squadron dispatched these foes with authority and continued their quest.
Invincibility. Invincibility.
But the darkness was cunning and called forth the Dark Galleon to vanquish the squadron's hopes. Thus began the final charge of the First Light Squadron.
Refracting prism. Invincibility.
The Armada of Darkness fell that day to a ragtag group of heroic pilots who refused to accept that their quest was impossible. Their courage would inspire all to rise up against the power of the darkness.
Now that was some serious flying! You see that, Skylander? The darkness isn't all powerful, it can be beaten! You should check with Flint. He might have found something useful. Hey, it's possible.
Hey, Skylander, you gotta see this book!
I sure hope we find a way to stop the darkness.
Sometimes I tire of historical transcription. I'd like to do something fun and frantic, a straightforward tale of action. Yes, something that is just a white-knuckle campfire tale of sinewy heroes battling enemies for no good reason. No, not just one battle, a series of them. Waves of terrible creatures, armed with terrifying weapons and no motivation. And then they clash and clash, each battle greater and more gratuitous than the last. until the hero stands victorious atop a pile of his defeated foes. Note to self, use a pen name on this story.
Deep Dive Gilgrunt.
You need a supercharger Skylander to enter this zone.
So, what I am thinking for this tale is a sort of fable on the dangers of excess. So, perhaps the hero discovers a secret room full of treasure. And not just some treasure, but a veritable cornucopia of coins and gold. But then, as they collect it, a metaphor arrives in the form of a crushing ball of covetousness. It chases the hero, destroying all in its wake. And then, you know, the hero escapes, a little richer, a little wiser. What do you think? Too highbrow?
I've never seen so many books in one place.
Hey, Skylander, you gotta see this book! Looks like this one here talks about how the core of light got made to give the darkness the old beatdown. There's probably more inside, but I'm not really in a hurry to crack it open, if you know what I mean, because it's kind of cursed, but you go right ahead.
The War of the Darkness had nearly been lost as all of Skylands was being held in its terrible grip. But there was one chance. A mythical device built by the ancients to combat the darkness had been discovered. It was called the Core of Light. But finding its location would be the most dangerous mission of them all. The darkness knew the core of light would be its end, and so it attacked. Its dark power was beyond comprehension. It shattered mountains and bridges with casual disdain. The darkness's rage was earth-shaking and all-consuming, for it knew that in order for its power to grow, the core of light must stay hidden. Undaunted, even in the face of this great evil, the Skylanders continued the quest. It called forth its evil servants to do its terrible bidding. But they would fall before the Skylander like limp bundles of experience and treasure. But still found time to stop and collect great piles of treasures. Upgrades don't come cheap. The darkness grew desperate. Again and again it attacked with renewed fury. Only to be turned back by the brave Skylanders. And then, after a long journey, the lost citadel of the Portal Masters had been reached. The radiant purity of the core of light had been found at last. But in the distance, the darkness raged on.
Wowzers! Looks like the darkness almost conquered Skylands back in the olden days until they used the trusty core of light. But it stopped right before the good part. I totally can't wait to find out what happens next. Maybe the one Max found will have more info. Don't keep me in suspense!
Dive bomber.
Hey there, Skylander! Check this out! I'm not sure it'll help us much, but it's kind of a cool read. It's all about an evil Hydra monster. I've heard of that. Well, it turns out it used to be like a pet of some dark portal masters. Can you imagine that? It's like trying to housebreak a rabid honey badger. Not a good idea. Looks like you'll need a sea vehicle to read this one.
Servants of the darkness were known for keeping a lethal menagerie of creatures and beasts. None was more terrifying than a multi-headed monstrosity known as the Hydra. The Hydra's appetite for both food and destruction was without limit. Dark portal masters, in an effort to appease their favorite pets, gathered all the food in Skylands and dropped it in the sea. The people, hungry and deprived of all sustenance, called on their heroes, the Skylanders, for aid. The Skylander, heedless of danger, dove into the shadowed and endless depths of the sea to face the Hydra. But the lair of this Hydra was fraught with peril, danger, and exploding proximity mines. But the Hydra was not the only dangerous creature in this deep sea. Ravenous Hydra hatchlings hid, coiled in the rocks, and would strike without warning. Sunken treasure. Fit of this journey. The fabled fracture fish of Foul Falls swam these waters briefly. Ever deeper into the abyss the Skylander traveled. Finally, the Skylander descended into the lair of the Hydra. There was the pilfered food. Without hesitation, the Skylander snatched up the food. The sea rumbled and quaked as the Hydra woke. The heads of the Hydra lashed out in rage. The Skylander was cornered. Until a secret passage out of the lair was revealed. The Skylander sped away. This food was too important to risk. Faster and faster the Skylander swam. But the Hydra's speed was incredible. It churned the water into a swirling foam, gaining and gaining on the Skylander. But just up ahead, that geyser, could it? It could! The various and many jaws of the Hydra snapped at the jets of water in frustration. It had been robbed of its prize and vengeance. The Skylander returned the stolen food to the people of Skylands, thwarting this creature of darkness.
Gosh golly, that was some story, Skylander. Makes you feel like we're kind of making history ourselves right now. Wouldn't that be something if we all ended up in a book someplace too? I bet the next book is gonna be even more exciting than this one. I think Hugo's finally managed to decide on one. You should go find him before he changes his mind.
More fuel for the fire.
Hot streak. Supercharged.
Oh, hi, Skylander. I'm glad you're here. This book here is called To Light the Dark by Pomfrey LaFuzzbottom. I didn't read much, but it talks about using the core of light to fight the darkness. This could be the one!
The forces of good had discovered the hidden location of the core of light, but they soon realized that the ancients had never completed this great machine, a secret that to this day has been forgotten. But with the darkness closing in for the final blow, they had no choice. They would power up the core and risk everything in a final battle. And they would hope that even an incomplete core of light would be enough to keep the darkness at bay. The Skylander sped into action. There was only one chance. An all-out attack to drive the darkness toward the core itself. But the darkness would not go easily. The darkness laid snares and traps for the Skylander. The Skylander, however, would not be halted. Unleashed its full power. Its dark light seared the sky, tearing across the land. Their battle echoed across all Skylands, trading blows that shattered islands in their wake. by inch it was pushed back until it was in range of the core. And then its glorious light filled the sky. With the core of light holding it at bay, it was forced to flee and hide in the deepest, darkest parts of Skylands once again. But for how long? One day it will return for its revenge. In order to destroy the darkness once and for all, the secret to completing the core of light and unleashing its true power must be found. This will be my life's work.
Any ideas?
The Fuzzbottom!
What'd you call me?
Callie is right. You must seek out the author of that book. If any living being knows how to complete the core, it is Pomfrey LaFuzzbottom.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go find this pom-pom fuzzy bottom guy and turn this core of light into the most awesome weapon ever!
That's Tessa! She shouldn't be trying to fly in these skies. It's too dangerous.
Hopefully the bird broke her fall.
Whoa, that looked like a pretty hard landing. You'd better go check on Tessa, Skylander. I need to examine the book we got from the Spellpunk Library for leads on Pomfrey's whereabouts.
Tessa, are you all right?
Yeah, I'd say your squawking feather mattress could use a little flying lesson from old Captain Flynn.
I'm fine, guys. Just a little shook up. And it wasn't Whisker's fault, Flynn. These skies are getting more dangerous by the minute. We had to evacuate all of Woodboro to get away from the Sky Eater. They're safe for now, so I decided to come here to help.
We'll take all the help we can get. Come on, let's get you up to speed.
Allow me. You see, Tessa, it all started with an enchilada.
This could take a while, Skylander. Why don't you go let Master Eon know that Tessa is okay?
I really don't know what this has to do with the Sky Eater, Flynn.
If you can understand why it eats the sky, you start to understand how to defeat it. You gotta get into your enemy's belly.
I have decided to call my shiny new doom station, bum 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 bum, the Sky Eater! Now behold, foolish Skylander fools, as your beloved Skylands is totally consumed by my mighty floating creation, all to feed the darkness, which powers it from within, and as it grows, so shall my power! Then I will unleash my ultimate evil plan for victory! Once my Sky Eater reaches full power, I will use it to create a cataclysmic mega rift to finally and completely destroy everything that those ridiculous Sky Losers hold dear! Ha 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 ha!
In a class on my own.
Dear Diary of Doom! Entry 1. Hello, future friends. Now that I, Chaos, am poised on the edge of my complete and utter domination of all Skylands, I feel it is my duty to make sure that my supreme glory is captured for all time, so that future generations of evil will marvel at my awesome greatness. Greatness? That's ridiculous! Glumshanks, it's supposed to be greatness, fool! Now bring me new cue cards immediately! I hope you know you're embarrassing yourself in front of future evil generations of evil! Oh, and destroy this entry. This never happened!
Why would an evil spa give you a refund? Did you even give them any money? Wow, you really read a book? That's awesome, Flynn! Kablam!
It's not the money, Tessa. It's the principle. You want me walking around principle-less? What would my fans say? Oh yeah, cover to cover. I was totally into it.
Greetings, Portal Master. You have come far in your time here in Skylands, but there is much more to learn. Here is where you can access all things related to Portal Mastery.
Spitfire.
Continue on your path of courage, and soon you will ascend to our highest ranks. A grand adventure awaits you, Portal Master.
Master Eon, I found him! I found LaFuzzbottom. According to a passage in his final book, he planned to retire to the Gadfly Glades to work in solitude.
Well done, Hugo. Seek out Flynn when you are ready to leave.